Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you today that you were created for a purpose. You are not an accident. You are here because the Almighty has given you a calling, a destiny, and a mission. But too many of us walk through life doubting ourselves, shrinking back in fear, and living far below what we were meant to be. But let me tell you something. You were made for greatness. Not by your own power, but by the power of the one who created you. It is time to step into that calling. It is time to act as if you are the best, not out of pride, but out of faith. There is something powerful about knowing who you are and what you were created to be. Too many people walk through life never realizing the potential that has been placed inside them. They allow doubt, fear, and the opinions of others to dictate their decisions, and as a result, they settle for far less than what they were meant to accomplish. But the truth is, you were not created for mediocrity. You were not meant to live in the shadows, doubting your worth or your ability. You were created with a purpose. And that purpose is far greater than anything you can imagine. The moment you begin to believe in your God-given potential is the moment you start walking in the destiny prepared for you. The world has a way of making people feel small. From a young age, we are told what we can and cannot do. We are measured by test scores, by achievements, by social status, by the approval of others. And when we fall short of these worldly expectations, we begin to question ourselves. We start to believe the lie that we are not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. But let me tell you something today. The one who created you did not make a mistake. He did not place you on this earth without a purpose. He has planted something inside of you, something unique, something powerful, something extraordinary, and that potential is waiting to be unleashed. You see, belief is a powerful thing. When a person truly believes in what they are capable of, they begin to act differently. They speak with confidence. They move with purpose. They take risks that others shy away from. It is not because they are better or more talented. It is because they have chosen to trust in the potential that was placed inside them. The greatest people in history were not always the strongest, the wealthiest, or the most educated. Many of them started out as ordinary individuals who simply made a decision to believe that they were called to do something greater. And that belief led them to step out in faith, to persevere through obstacles, and to achieve what others thought was impossible. Doubt is the enemy of potential. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you are not ready, that you are not equipped, that you will fail if you try. But the truth is, you will never know what you are capable of until you step out and try. There is no failure in trying. There is only growth, only learning, only preparation for something greater. The biggest mistake you can make is to let doubt stop you from taking action. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you will wait forever. If you wait until you have every skill, every resource, every opportunity perfectly lined up, you will never move forward. But if you step out in faith, trusting that the one who gave you this potential will also give you the strength to fulfill it, you will find that doors begin to open, obstacles begin to move, and what once seemed impossible becomes possible. Think about the talents and gifts that you have. Maybe you are a leader, but you have been afraid to take responsibility. Maybe you are creative, but you have held back because you fear rejection. Maybe you have a heart for helping others, but you have convinced yourself that someone else could do it better. Whatever it is, recognize that those talents were placed in you for a reason. They were not given to you by accident. They are not random. They are part of your purpose. And when you start to embrace them, when you start to use them, when you start to walk boldly in them, you will find that your life begins to change. There will always be voices trying to hold you back. Some will come from the outside, people who do not see your vision, who do not understand your calling, who may even discourage you from pursuing it. And some will come from within, your own fears, insecurities, and past failures that try to convince you that you are not capable. But you must drown out those voices and listen to the one that truly matters. The voice that says you are chosen. The voice that says you are equipped. The voice that says you have everything you need inside of you to become everything you were created to be. Your potential is not defined by your past. It is not limited by your mistakes. It is not determined by the opinions of others. It is placed inside of you by the Creator Himself, and nothing can take that away from you. The only thing that can stop you from reaching it is your own belief. So today, choose to believe. Choose to step out. Choose to embrace the greatness that has been placed inside of you, because when you do, you will not only change your own life, you will inspire others to believe in their potential as well. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles that hold people back from achieving their God-given potential. It is a silent enemy that creeps into the hearts of men and women, whispering doubts, sowing hesitation and paralyzing action. Fear tells you that you are not good enough, that you will fail, that others are more qualified, and that stepping out in faith will only lead to disappointment. It convinces you to stay where you are, to remain in the safety of the familiar, to avoid risks, and to never reach for something greater. But fear is a liar. It is not the voice of truth. It does not come from God, for the Bible clearly says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." 2 Timothy 1:7. This means that every time fear tries to control your thoughts, your actions, or your destiny, it is not from God. And if it is not from God, then it has no rightful place in your life. Faith is the antidote to fear. It is the weapon that defeats every lie, every doubt, and every limitation that fear tries to place upon you. Faith is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about choosing to believe in something greater than your circumstances. It is about trusting that the one who created you is also the one who will equip you, strengthen you, and guide you through every trial and every uncertainty. Faith does not mean that you will never feel afraid. It means that you will not allow fear to dictate your decisions. It means stepping forward even when your knees tremble, even when the outcome is unclear, even when the road ahead seems difficult. Because faith is not about what you see. It is about what you believe. Many people live their lives controlled by fear, not because they lack the ability to succeed, but because they have allowed fear to convince them that failure is inevitable. They stay in jobs they dislike, relationships that are unhealthy, and patterns of life that keep them stuck, simply because the thought of stepping into something new is too overwhelming. But the truth is, every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of true growth requires stepping out in faith. There is no progress without risk, no victory without a battle, no reward without perseverance. The people who accomplish great things are not the ones who never feel afraid. They are the ones who refuse to let fear control them. They are the ones who trust that God's plan is greater than their fear, that His strength is enough to carry them through, and that His promises are worth believing in. The enemy uses fear to keep people from fulfilling their destiny. He knows that if he can keep you afraid, he can keep you from moving forward. He knows that if he can fill your mind with doubt, he can stop you from stepping into your calling. But the enemy also knows that faith is powerful. Faith destroys fear. Faith moves mountains. Faith unlocks doors that seem permanently shut. Faith allows you to see beyond your present situation and into the greater purpose that God has prepared for you. That is why it is so important to guard your heart and mind against fear and to fill your spirit with faith. One of the greatest examples of overcoming fear with faith is found in the story of Peter walking on water. When Peter saw Jesus walking on the sea, he asked if he could come to him. Jesus said, "Come," and Peter stepped out of the boat. As long as his eyes were on Jesus, he walked on water. But the moment he looked at the wind and the waves, fear took over, and he began to sink. The lesson here is clear. When our focus is on God, faith carries us. But when we focus on our circumstances, fear overtakes us. Fear will always try to make you look at the waves, at the obstacles, at the reasons why you might fail. But faith says, keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing. Because the moment you take your eyes off of fear and place them on faith, miracles happen. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom, as caution, as logic. It tells you to wait until everything is perfect before you act, to make sure there is no risk before you take a step forward. But faith is not about waiting for perfect conditions. Faith is about trusting that even in the uncertainty, even in the difficulty, God is with you. It is about knowing that He will provide, that He will make a way, and that He will never leave you alone. Every person who has ever done something great had to push past fear. Every leader, every pioneer, every person who has ever changed the world has had to face fear head on and choose faith instead. And you are no different. The same God who gave them strength is the same God who will give you strength. The same God who guided them is the same God who will guide you. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who shut the mouths of lions, who brought down giants, and who raised the dead is the same God who is with you right now. And if God is for you, what do you have to fear? You may not know what the future holds, but you can know who holds the future. You may not see how things will work out, but you can trust that God has already gone before you. You may feel afraid, but you can choose to walk by faith anyway, because fear has no power over a heart that is fully surrendered to God. Fear may shout, but faith speaks loud. Fear may try to stop you, but faith propels you forward. Fear may try to break you, but faith will always build you up. And when you choose faith over fear, you will walk in the fullness of the purpose for which you were created. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on the direction of your life, whether you realize it or not. Your environment shapes your mindset, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. Many people fail, not because they lack talent or ability, but because they are constantly influenced by the wrong voices. They allow negative, doubting, or discouraging people to dictate their beliefs and limit their growth. The company you keep will either push you toward your purpose or pull you away from it. That is why it is critical to surround yourself with those who challenge you, inspire you, and encourage you to become the best version of yourself. Throughout life, there will always be people who try to hold you back. Some will do it intentionally out of jealousy or insecurity, while others will do it unintentionally, simply because they do not see what you see or believe what you believe. They may tell you that your dreams are unrealistic, that you are aiming too high, or that you should settle for something safer. And if you listen to those voices long enough, you will begin to doubt yourself. You will start to think smaller, dream less, and accept a life that is far beneath what you were created for. But the truth is, you were not meant to live according to the limitations of others. You were meant to rise, to grow, and to fulfill the purpose that has been placed inside of you. And in order to do that, you must be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. When you walk with the wise, you become wiser. When you surround yourself with people who are driven, passionate, and full of faith, their mindset begins to influence yours. Their belief in you strengthens your confidence. Their encouragement pushes you forward when you feel like giving up. Their presence reminds you that you are not alone in your journey. But if you surround yourself with negativity, with people who constantly complain, who doubt, who make excuses, that same spirit will begin to affect you. You may not notice it at first, but over time, their words, their fears, and their attitudes will take root in your mind. And before you know it, you will start thinking like them, speaking like them, and living like them. That is why you must be careful about who you give access to your life. The right people will challenge you to grow. They will not allow you to stay in the same place year after year. They will push you to develop your gifts, to sharpen your skills, and to step outside of your comfort zone. They will hold you accountable, reminding you of your potential and refusing to let you settle for anything less than what you are capable of. They will celebrate your victories, not with envy, but with genuine joy, because they want to see you succeed. And when you face difficulties, they will stand by your side, offering wisdom, support, and encouragement instead of criticism or judgment. But the wrong people will do the opposite. They will distract you from your purpose, leading you into conversations, habits, and mindsets that do not align with where you are supposed to go. They will drain your energy, filling your mind with doubt and negativity. They will discourage you either through direct words of criticism or through subtle, undermining comments that make you question your abilities. Some will even pretend to be supportive, but secretly hope for your failure because your success reminds them of their own unfulfilled potential. And if you are not careful, these influences will pull you away from the path you were meant to walk. One of the most difficult but necessary decisions you will ever make is to distance yourself from relationships that no longer serve your growth. This does not mean that you stop loving people or that you look down on them. It simply means that you recognize that not everyone is meant to walk with you to the next level of your journey. Some people were only meant to be part of your past, not your future, and that is okay. Growth requires change, and sometimes that change includes the people you allow into your life. Instead of surrounding yourself with people who drain you, find those who inspire you. Seek out mentors who have already walked the path you want to take. Build friendships with those who challenge you to think bigger, to believe deeper, and to work harder. Connect with those who have a heart for growth, for purpose, and for making a difference. These are the relationships that will elevate you, that will push you closer to your calling, and that will help you become everything you were created to be. You cannot afford to be careless with your associations. Your future is too important, your calling is too great, and your potential is too valuable to be wasted on relationships that do not serve your purpose. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who push you forward, and who help you become the person you were meant to be. Because the people you walk with will determine the direction you take, and the direction you take will determine the life you live. Excellence is not just about talent, intelligence, or skill. It is about commitment, discipline, and the attitude with which you approach everything you do. It is a mindset, a way of living that refuses to settle for mediocrity. Many people go through life doing the bare minimum, just enough to get by, just enough to meet expectations, just enough to avoid failure. But those who truly succeed, those who make an impact, are the ones who commit to working with excellence in every area of their lives. Excellence is not about being perfect. It is about giving your best effort in everything you do, whether people are watching or not. It is about showing up with integrity, taking pride in your work, and striving to improve every single day. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stagnant is not necessarily ability. It is attitude. The world is full of talented people who never reach their potential because they lack the discipline to pursue excellence. Talent alone will never be enough. It must be combined with a work ethic that refuses to cut corners, an attitude that refuses to settle, and a mindset that sees every task, no matter how small, as an opportunity to grow. Excellence is not limited to those in high positions or glamorous careers. It applies to every aspect of life. Whether you are a leader, an employee, a student, a parent, or an entrepreneur, the way you approach your work speaks volumes about who you are. The habit of excellence starts with how you handle the small things. Some people think they will start giving their best effort when they get a better job, a bigger opportunity, or more recognition, but that is not how excellence works. If you are not willing to give your best in the small tasks, you will not be ready for the bigger ones. Excellence is developed in the unseen moments, in the effort you put into things that may not seem significant at the time. It is built when you go the extra mile, not because someone is forcing you to, but because you hold yourself to a higher standard. Those who work with excellence do not wait for external motivation. They bring their own motivation. They do not need to be constantly supervised, reminded, or pushed to do their best because excellence is a part of their character. People who commit to excellence understand that their work is a reflection of who they are. They take ownership of their responsibilities, whether big or small, because they know that how they handle one thing is how they will handle everything. They do not make excuses, they do not blame others, and they do not settle for mediocrity. They recognize that everything they do is an opportunity to make an impact, to influence others, and to build something greater than themselves. Excellence is not about impressing people. It is about honoring your purpose, valuing your work, and striving to reach your full potential. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and moments when it feels easier to settle for good enough. But excellence is about pushing through those moments, staying committed even when it is difficult, and maintaining a standard that does not change based on circumstances. It is about resilience, perseverance, and the willingness to keep improving even when no one else is pushing you to do so. Those who operate with excellence are not content with yesterday's achievements. They are constantly learning, growing, and looking for ways to become better. They are not threatened by challenges. They embrace them as opportunities to sharpen their skills and strengthen their character. One of the greatest rewards of working with excellence is that it opens doors. When you are diligent, consistent, and committed to doing your best, opportunities will find you. People take notice of those who are excellent in what they do, and favor follows those who go beyond what is expected. Many times, the breakthrough people are waiting for is on the other side of consistency and excellence. The person who works with excellence will always stand out, no matter where they are. They do not need to promote themselves or seek validation because their work speaks for itself. Excellence also builds trust and credibility. When people know that you are someone who gives your best, they will respect you, rely on you, and be willing to invest in you. Excellence creates influence. Whether in the workplace, in relationships, or in leadership, those who work with excellence gain the confidence of others. They attract opportunities. They inspire those around them, and they create a legacy that lasts far beyond their immediate achievements. The pursuit of excellence is not a one-time decision. It is a daily commitment. It is a choice to be disciplined when no one is watching, to be faithful in the small things, and to push beyond what is comfortable. It is a mindset that says, I will not settle for less than my best. Those who commit to working with excellence set themselves apart. They rise above the average. They make an impact, and they leave a mark that cannot be erased. Growth is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. The moment a person stops growing, they stop living with purpose. Too many people settle for what they already know, for what they have already achieved, and for the comfort of what is familiar. But life was never meant to be lived in stagnation. Growth is what separates those who continue to rise from those who remain stuck. It is what pushes people beyond their limitations, beyond their doubts, and beyond the boundaries that once held them back. Those who commit to constant growth understand that there is always more to learn, more to experience, and more to become. The most successful people are not the ones who think they have arrived. They are the ones who recognize that they are always in the process of becoming. They are not content with past accomplishments because they know that yesterday's success is not enough for today's challenges. They are willing to learn, adapt, and evolve. They read, they study, they ask questions, and they surround themselves with people who challenge them to be better. They are not afraid to be wrong because they know that every mistake is an opportunity to learn. They are not afraid to step into the unknown because they know that growth happens outside of comfort zones. Growth requires a willingness to embrace change. It means being open to new ideas, new experiences, and new ways of thinking. It means letting go of old habits that no longer serve a purpose and replacing them with disciplines that lead to progress. Many people resist change because it is uncomfortable, but growth and comfort do not go hand in hand. The greatest achievements in life come from those who are willing to do what others are unwilling to do. They are the ones who stretch themselves, who take risks, who invest in their development even when there is no immediate reward. They understand that every small step forward brings them closer to their full potential. The danger of stopping growth is that it leads to complacency. When a person stops learning, they start declining. When they stop challenging themselves, they become stagnant. When they stop pushing for more, they settle for less. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that growth is only necessary until a certain point. But the truth is, the moment growth stops, opportunities begin to fade. Doors that were once open begin to close. Influence that was once strong begins to weaken. The world continues to move forward, and those who refuse to grow are left behind. One of the most important aspects of growth is the ability to learn from every season of life. Growth does not only come from success, it comes from challenges, from failures, and from difficult experiences. Those who embrace growth understand that even the hardest moments carry lessons. They do not waste time dwelling on past mistakes. Instead, they extract wisdom from them and use it to move forward. They do not allow failure to define them. They use it as fuel to become stronger, wiser, and more determined. They know that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth if they are willing to learn from it. A commitment to growth also means surrounding oneself with the right people. No one grows in isolation. The people in one's life will either push them toward growth or keep them stuck in the same place. Those who want to grow seek out mentors, leaders, and friends who challenge them. They listen to advice. They accept constructive criticism, and they welcome feedback that helps them improve. They are not defensive when corrected because they understand that correction is part of the process of becoming better. They do not waste time with negativity or with those who discourage them from reaching higher. Instead, they invest in relationships that inspire and sharpen them. Growth is not about competition with others. It is about becoming better than who one was yesterday. It is not about impressing people. It is about fulfilling one's purpose. Those who truly commit to growth do not compare themselves to others because they understand that their journey is unique. They are not discouraged by someone else's success. They are inspired by it. They celebrate progress, no matter how small, because they know that every step forward is a victory. They do not rush the process because they know that real growth takes time, consistency, and dedication. One of the greatest challenges to growth is fear. Fear of failure, fear of change, fear of stepping into the unknown. But those who refuse to let fear control them will always find a way to keep growing. They take risks even when they are uncertain of the outcome. They step out in faith even when they do not have all the answers. They understand that growth requires courage, and they refuse to let fear hold them back. They know that every challenge they face is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the next level. The mindset of growth transforms not only a person's success, but also their impact on others. Those who never stop growing become a source of inspiration to those around them. They lead by example, showing others that growth is possible at any stage of life. They invest in others, sharing what they have learned and encouraging those who are just beginning their journey. They leave a legacy of wisdom, strength, and progress because they understand that their growth is not just for them. It is for the people they influence, the generations that follow, and the lives they are meant to touch. Excellence, faith, perseverance, and intentional growth are the foundations of a life well lived. Those who believe in their God-given potential overcome fear with faith, surround themselves with the right people, work with excellence, and commit to never-ending growth will rise above limitations and step into their true calling. Life is not meant to be lived in mediocrity, doubt, or complacency. It is meant to be lived with purpose, passion, and an unwavering commitment to becoming the best version of oneself. Challenges will come, obstacles will arise, and doubts may creep in, but those who hold firm to these principles will always find a way forward. The journey to greatness is not easy, but it is worth it. Keep believing, keep striving, and never settle for anything less than the best that you were created to be.